Welcome back to Living Local. The Blackbox Theater in downtown Moline is bringing the area premiere of the Half-Life of Marie Curie by Lauren Gunderson to the stage this weekend, I should say. And here to tell us all about it is the Blackbox very own Emmy Award winner, Lora Adams.
I am.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're surviving?
It's like any show that's going up. You are there a lot. You are doing. You notice all the little minutia that has to be done. So that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, good. Well, talk to us about the show and what it's about exactly.
Well, the show is about Madame Curie, Marie Curie, and it is about a specific time in her life. Her husband has been dead for 6 years, and she started a relationship with a married man. And France, especially Paris, went crazy, which is kind of ironic. But at any rate, she runs away and visits her very good friend in England and spends the summer there and sort of gets rejuvenated. And that's basically what goes on.
And you've produced a number of Gunderson's works.
Yes.
And it seems like you're a big fan.
I am.
And I got to wonder, what is it about her writing that really connects with you specifically?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that she's just a really good writer, that when it's on the page, you can visualize what it is going to be on the stage. We've done The Revolutionists and I and You, and I'm trying to remember all of them. I think we've done 5 of Gunderson's. But the thing about her writing is just that it's so good. And when I start to think about what it is that can happen on a stage, a good script, it's there for you.
Yeah.
And I often say to people, if it's not a really great script, you can do something serviceable, but it's not going to really move an audience. And so Gunderson does have to work for you. Yeah,
and that as a performer, I can tell you that is half the battle, honestly.
It is.
And this is a two-hander, which means there's only 2 actors in it.
That is correct.
How does that shape the intensity? Obviously, it works really well in the Blackbox because it's so intimate.
Right.
But let's talk about that process a little bit of putting together something that's only 2 actors.
Well, the thing about this, it takes place in several different locations. So the whole stage has to represent these different places. And this is one of those times where both actors are new to our stage, and I think for some of them it is just sort of like it's a different animal, because I tend to move pretty fast, and I do a lot of research, and I want a lot of work that way. But when you have a two-hander, it's about the chemistry, it's about trusting the next person, and I think we have that.
Well, and you're dealing with a lot of layers too in this piece too. Anybody knows any of the history about Madame Curie, how are they dealing with that? Because, like you said, it is a very fast-paced environment over there. You don't do the 8-week rehearsal process that a lot of people do. I couldn't do it either. What's that been like? I mean, is it kind of coming down to the last minute here? Or
well,
are they doing all right?
Well, they had scripts for a long time in advance, and one of the things that I always tell them is do your research. It's not as though these people didn't exist in reality, so there's a lot to know about them. And I think that's one of the things for me with the script was, oh my gosh, I didn't know that part of her life.
Right.
We have a sort of cursory idea of who these people are, but they were remarkable women, and that's what Gunderson writes so well. And they were the thing that got me was what they did during World War I. How many lives they literally saved. And when you look back at it, you think of, oh, Nobel Prize, that sort of thing, but you don't really think of that literally being on the battlefield, literally helping soldiers, and that is an amazing thing. Hertha, the other character, was very much a suffragette, but as she says in the play, she was loud and she would spit, and so they didn't go after her so much. But she'd wait for the girls to get out of jail, fatten them up, and then they go protest again.
Is this based on like a book or a journal of some sort? Like, where did this
It's actually based upon that summer of Marie's life, because she literally had to leave Paris. They were just, especially the media was after her, because she was a bit of a icon, and then here she went and did whoops. And she was lonely. She had 2 daughters, and she was lonely, and here's someone who was also a scientist, and
it's kind of
stuff happens.
I always wonder about that. When we do plays about history, where they find the information. Was it just written about in the papers enough that?
I think it was, absolutely.
Yeah.
She was hounded. It was the paparazzi gone insane.
Sure.
but you know, it was a very different time too. Happily, it wasn't 24/7 like it is these days, because within 24 hours there's something else people can go.
Well, yeah.
But so they were a dog with a bone, and they just went after it. Yeah.
And so, what do you hope, you know, that audiences take away from this? Obviously, it's a story about friendship, and
Yes.
friendship between females is a very powerful thing. But what are you ultimately hoping people walk out the door with?
Well, you know, one of the things that always happens, because I say thank you and goodbye to my patrons, is that they will say, at least one person every time, thank you for doing things that we wouldn't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so what I want for them to do is learn a little bit more about her and about Hertha, and to know that friendship isn't always not rocky, and that someone can love you enough and tell you the truth.
Yeah. I love that. That's a great sentiment. Well, Laura, thanks so much. Break a
Thank
leg
you.
this weekend. I hope the theater is full.
So do I.
So everyone get out to check out the Black Box Theater. For tickets and information, you can check out theblackboxtheater.com. We'll have all those details posted at ourquadcities.com.